Hello, everybody. Welcome to our newest episode of Female Gentle Leaders podcast. With me, your host, Polly. I'm a business architect and I really love talking and creating amazing business ecosystems that support you not only in a financial way, but also in an energetic way. So here I am with another of my dear colleagues and I think friends too. We are speakers together and we are on an amazing journey. And today we would love to share, and I will be asking a lot of questions to Claire to answer. Welcome, Claire. Claire is a spiritual success coach and a serial entrepreneur. And that's the part we will be connecting to. Both of them, because she's successful. She has several six-figure businesses. She's a mom. So she really connected all the dots. So let's see them. Claire, I'm so happy you're here. Could you share more about what you do?
Yeah, of course. This is always funny when people ask me that because I'm like, okay, where do I start? So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the best way to describe me is I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do many things. I have businesses in the corporate, the spiritual, the coaching worlds. Now moving into the events worlds as well, which is something that I'm creating at the moment. So I like to have my hands in a lot of different pies, but I think the best way to describe me is a advocate for female empowerment. So whatever I do is with the purpose of empowering the people that I'm touching in some way or another for them to live their best lives unapologetically. That's what I'm all about, essentially.
And I love that so much because let's not keep a secret that it's really possible for all us, for all women to live our dreams, to build a business that is really successful. And it doesn't mean that we can't have an amazing family, right? You enjoy so much time with your daughter, and it's so important to share this. So I'm so happy that we can dive in. So, what do you feel was for you the first step towards many businesses? Because where there are some moments when you just thought, okay, I need to close this one because I'm starting a new one, or it
Yeah.
was always for you just hit me with new
Yeah,
ideas and new business.
100% that. So, okay, so I'll try and give you the condensed version. But so even when I was a kid at school, right, I always knew that I wanted to be my own boss. I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That was just something that was in my blood. I think it was in my DNA. And so I left school really early. I was like, get me out of here. I want to forge my own path. So I started my first business. I waited until I was 26. So it was quite late considering that I had that passion for so long. But it was fear. Fear of failure stopped me from ever starting, until that point. When I did start, I just did the thing that felt easiest. So like the industry that I was in as an employee at the time is what I ended up doing. That's the corporate business that I have today, right? And it wasn't a business of passion. It wasn't a business of purpose. It was a means to an end. It was kind of like, okay, this feels like something I can do, so let's just go with it. So that's what I did. I don't recommend that really to anyone. But during that, so my first 6 years in my entrepreneurial life were grind, hustle, burnout, right? Vicious cycle. I mean, work is the only word I knew. It was work, 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 work. But the kind of irony irony of it was that I thought it was short-term pain for long-term gain. It was like a means to an end. It was like I was justifying missing my kids growing up because I always thought this is temporary. This is not going to be forever. At some point, I'm going to hit that success in air quotes. I'm going to make it in air quotes and everything will be fine. And inevitably that never happens because you're just on the hamster wheel. You never stop. You never get that kind of golden moment. So again, trying to condense this down, I can ramble. So what basically happened, my catalyst is I was in an abusive relationship at the time, and I had my tower moment. So I was finally able to overcome my fear of leaving and trust in myself, and that I would be okay, and that I would be able to still achieve my dreams on my own. And when I did that, like, my whole world changed, obviously, but it was, it brought me to my spiritual awakening. And that was really the catalyst for everything, because when I had my spiritual awakening, I very nearly sold my first business. So going back to your question, I very nearly sold it. And I remember a vivid memory sitting on my best friend's couch. And I was like, you know what? This is just not lighting me up. It feels like there must be something more, like I've got all of this passion and this desire and these big dreams, but how I don't, I couldn't see the link. I was like, this can't be right. This is not changing humanity. This business, it's not a kind of one of those businesses. And so I kind of grappled with that for a while, until I realized I don't have to sacrifice. I can pivot, I can grow, and I can learn how to delegate. I can learn how to become a CEO. So essentially what I did was I became a spiritual CEO, is what I call it. I delegated in that corporate business. I kept literally 5% of my area of genius, the stuff that I like doing, the rest of it off my plate. And that freed up my energy so much that I then started another business, which was with crystals, because at the time I was on that spiritual journey and I was being really drawn to them. And I was like, yeah, I like this. And then it was just like the energy. This is why I'm so big on energy assets, because the energy was so in alignment. Everything was so in flow that both of those businesses then grew to 6 figures within 18 months. Like, whereas before I had been struggling for like 6, 7, 8 years at that point to even get past 50K. So it's, and then from there, it was just like the world was the oyster. I was just like, this is great. I can literally put my hand to anything. If it's in alignment with my purpose and with my North Star, then I can do it.
And it's so amazing to hear it from you, because I know that you work with energy, and I know that even practically you really work on your businesses, right? You are growing yourself, you are creating a new business for these last couple of months, right? And this is something that I think that our heads just can't get around with. We are always trying to find that magic, I don't know, potion or secret, or how to make a successful business without burning out. Because I have a really similar experience with my businesses. I always was leading myself by my heart, so that was there, right? But I exactly live as you said. Now I hustle, now I grind for that moment when the success will come, or when the money will come, so I can be more with my family. In the first, I don't know, 3 or 4 years of my business, of course, I burned out, and I just discovered that nothing, and really nothing, is important for me when I can't be with my children. I said, okay, I'm okay with even closing it everything out, going away from everything, but I won't ever sacrifice my life for a business.
Yeah.
And you are living it too. So if we would dive in firstly to the energy part, because you said you had an awakening, you work with your energy. Could you concretely maybe tell us
Bring
how
some
do you do
spiritual stuff.
that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, so spirituality was always kind of a subject, like I'm a very analytical person by nature. I'm a Virgo. I'm very I like science. I like facts. I like data. That's the kind of mind that I am. So spirituality was an interesting journey for me because I came at it. Well, it came at me, really. It came at me, and it was like, here you go, right in front of you. And I had to grapple quite a lot with, I need some facts here. I need some like science to back this up. Like I can't get my head around it. And the game changer for me was reading, educating myself, becoming a master of a new world, understanding as much as I could. Books like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Vishen Lakhiani, even things like Jen Sincero, So You Are a Badass, like all of these kind of self-development / spiritual / science books changed my whole perception, to the point where I now am on the side of, well, I personally feel that there's so much evidence for it that actually, how can you not believe it? I'm kind of like that way now. But yeah, so for me, really being in alignment with my energy. So I don't do anything that doesn't light up my whole body, and especially learning about human design as well, which has been part of my journey in the more recent year. If it doesn't feel like a whole body yes, then it's a no. I can delegate that to someone else. I can change my mind. It's okay to change your mind. I can say, I don't want to do this anymore and start something else. I think we make ourselves feel like, well, I've made this bed, I'm going to lie in it, but you don't have to. You can change, you can pivot, you can grow at any point. It's your life at the end of the day. There's no such thing as failure. It's just a lesson that you needed. It's something that you had to go through to get to the other side, to get back in alignment with what you're actually here to do.
I'm so in with you, that. And the more of us will live it, the more of us will be an example of it. And I hope, exactly as you said, there are so many evidences in all of our lives. It's not only business, right? That it really works. And I always lead myself and my clients toward their heart. And they often tell me, okay, I'm listening to my heart when it comes to my family, or how to take care of my children, or how to take care of my relationship, or of my garden. I don't know. But when it comes to business, no, I can't listen to my heart, because I need to know the right strategy to grow. I need to know the steps. Can you tell me the steps? And I always tell them, okay, I can tell you the steps, but I will make them out like from thin air, because there are so many steps you can take. How should I know what are the right for you?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
how?
And I think as well, like you don't always have to see the whole staircase, right? I mean, I personally, I love the saying you only need to see the first step, but also I like to think actually you need to see where the staircase is going. Like you need to see your North Star. You need to see why you're even walking up these stairs, because I think so many people are on this entrepreneurial journey, and myself included, for many years, where we're doing all the things, we're so in our masculine, we're focused on the strategy, we're focused on the clients, we're focused on the chasing, the chasing, and we're scared to take our foot off the pedal, because we're like, well, if I'm not pushing, then everything's going to stop, everything's going to come crashing down. But actually, that is the moment of transformation. That is the moment of release and surrender. And that's when the universe co-conspires with you. And it's like, oh, thank God, like you've actually taken a chill pill. I can do some work here now. It's like, gonna let me, intervene, are you? And it's kind of like, it's the same principle as delegating in your business, right? So delegation can be really hard for a lot of people, because especially when you're an entrepreneur, it's your baby, you've built it, you've nurtured it, you've been there through all the kind of bumps and the grazes, and you've grown this baby almost. And then to let it go almost to other people and be like, please look after my baby. You know, it's like childcare, isn't it? It's like sending your kid off to a babysitter or a childminder. It's like, please look after my baby. But when you do that, you know, just like with a child, they experience new things. They see different perspectives. You get time to regenerate so that you show up as a better parent. And it's exactly the same with business. You know, when you ease up a bit and you trust other people, you know, trust other people to do what they are good at, to focus on the bits that you don't want to do anyway, it's like a whole new rebirth. But also you get what you started business for in the first place, which is freedom, right? That's why we become entrepreneurs, for freedom. Yet we end up sacrificing that very thing to gain some kind of control that never ever leads to the success, the money, the freedom, the fulfillment that we actually want to experience.
Yeah, and I think that, as you said, the North Star, seeing that big goal we have, or mostly a vision of our life, how we want to feel. I think for me it works better when I don't know much of the details, just the
Yes.
feeling, and maybe only one picture there where I see myself. Then it's much easier to let go of control. I feel it's so important, because when we let go of control, delegate not only to person, right, but to the universe as
Yeah.
well, we can really accelerate all the growth, make it more easeful. And it sounds, when I say it, just like words, but I live it. You live
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
It's not easy, right? It's not easy, but we can decide how to make it easeful for us, how to maybe, I don't know, sometimes not be such a perfectionist, right? Some other times delegate and let go, like really let go, not to check on people, and just let them do their work without our micromanaging
Yeah. Yeah.
capabilities.
Because the thing is it really is, you know, we're talking about the same thing, whether we're talking about the universe or whether we're talking about, you know, our teams and our people who work around us. It's the same thing. It's trusting that everyone has your back, that everyone is in it for the greater good. Everyone is in it for the benefit, right? And this goes to mindset. It's not always thinking about the worst case. It's not always thinking, well, you know, I've had 5 employees before, they were all crap, so that means that's always going to be the way. Or, you know, well, I've had, you know, lots of pain in my life, therefore the universe hates me. And it's these kind of scenarios and these narratives that we can just keep without even realizing that we're keeping them, but it keeps you stuck in that same cycle. You have to change how you think if you want to see a different reality to what you have now. You know, that's the only way that you're going to experience a different life to what you currently have, because you need to be someone else to experience something else.
And yeah, the topic of trust, it's not easy. When you say, right, you need to trust, many of us don't even know how does that even really feel. To trust, to lean on somebody, something, and yeah, and know deep down that it's all been created for us. I think it's the hardest part, because being in the hustle, being in the doing is often easier, because I have all the things to do. I don't need to think about anything. I have my goal. I don't even know if I will get there, but I will do everything. I will do everything. I will sacrifice everything
Mm.
just to get there. I don't
Yeah.
know how about you, and you said it right with the burnout. I got there several times and it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
With the hustle, it's just not worth it. For me, not anymore.
No.
But
No.
I believe that, yeah, we often need to have that experience, and it's up to us when we stop. I know I have many clients, and it depends when they come to me. Sometimes we catch it really on time, like they just started to feel frustrated, right? And I said, that's amazing. If we can here change the trajectory, it will be amazing. And it really is. And sometimes they come like already almost lying on their floor, really dying because the money isn't growing. They are tired. The business is on their shoulders. And yeah, we always say when we are starting to make the changes, and today I had an amazing mentoring session, and my client said, I understand everything. I know we designed it now in the right way, but I feel the fear deep inside.
Yeah.
So I said to her, okay, talk to the fear. Ask the fear, how or where should I sink? How deep do I need to go in this frustration and tiredness? How deep you need me to go so you will let go? So you will let me stand up for me, make the prices as I feel them accurate for me, and start building it.
Mm.
And from that moment, when we switched like that, she felt, okay, now the fear has no chance because I really have nothing to lose anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? I think we can get so, we become busy fools, right? There's that saying of you're busy just being busy. You're busy because you feel, because we're made to believe that that's how you achieve success. You can't, as a society, we're made to believe that if you want to succeed, whatever that means to you, whether that's money, status, or whatever your definition of success is, we're made to believe if you want to achieve that, you are going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to work harder than anyone else. You're going to have to make decisions that you're not going to like. And the fact of the matter is, yes, you can do it that way, but why would you when there's an easier and a better and a funner and a more fulfilling way? This is the thing. It's like, yes, you can do it that way. No one's saying you can't, but there's actually another way. There's actually a better way. It's just, it's kind of, I find it really disheartening. I don't know if that's the right word, but really sad when I see business owners, strong, independent women, and it's like they're a shell of who they want to be, because I work with, ambitious visionaries, right? And they have this yearning. They know that they want more. They know that they want bigger things. They want to create a big impact in the world, but they're stuck in their work. They're stuck in their business, and they can't stop for long enough to lift their head up and actually see from a different perspective, to see the wood through the trees. And I think so many of us just find it so hard to believe because of what we've been made to believe from our, from our upbringing, from society around us. But I promise you, to everyone listening, there's a better way. I've done both, and this way is much more fun.
And it's really important to say that there's really no failure. Even if a business fails, like you will find out, right, that it doesn't make any money, or I don't know, it just doesn't work. It's not a failure. You learn so much from that experience that the next one will be easier or will be different. And it's never, never a failure. We teach it to our children, right? That's never, that they are not a failure if they, I don't know, mess up a test. So why are we so harsh on ourselves? Like, we can't, I don't know, mess up a post or a video or an entire business. Oh, why?
Yeah.
Right?
Failure is, I believe, the only failure is not to try. If you don't even try, then, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not failing anyone else, but you're just failing yourself. You're failing the potential of who you could be, the unknown of how far you can go, of, how far you can stretch, how far you can rise, how far you can expand. And that's something that obviously, every individual has to live with. But failure in terms of what expectation we had on the thing, that's the definition, right? It's whatever we expect the outcome to be. It just means that there was a lesson, and it's just actually pushing you. The universe is just pushing you back into alignment. It's okay. It's like, okay, I want you to go this way because there's a lesson here. You need to learn it. And then on the other side, you're going to realize why it happened. That's why hindsight is such a great thing, right? Because we can look back and we're like, okay, yeah, I know. So I think Steve Jobs says you can't join the dots going forwards. You can only join them going backwards. And that's when you can see, look at your life now and look at all of the so-called failures and think about the lessons that you've had through those things. I mean, I've failed over and over and over again. I have made so many mistakes, I self-sabotage. Like this year, I self-sabotage more than ever, but it's because I've quantum leaped more than ever. And it's, no one is immune to this stuff. But the difference is that we get up and we keep going. We get up and we realign ourselves. We get up and we face the fear and we step into it and we keep moving. We keep the momentum and we keep the movement of what we're here to create in the world. And that's, failure is just a blessing, I think, because you just needed to learn something.
Yeah, you said it really amazingly. Thank you for that. And just to wrap our conversation, when you were talking, I got a sentence. It's a risk worth taking. Because we have nothing and really nothing to lose. It's not about leaving everything and then going with the energy work and hoping it will work. There's just more pressure, but it's just starting. Just start, be smart about it. Or from my side, I will want your side, right? But for me, it's about taking the leaps, but they don't necessarily have to be big. It's just about trying each and every day to listen to my heart, to listen to my body, to the energy, and let ourselves be really pleasantly surprised how and what comes in our way. Because there's really only risk when we don't take the risk.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely agree. And, I believe in a world where we don't have to feel shame around our big dreams. So we can look around us and we know that the reality isn't everything that it seems. So we just have to lean into it. We have to know that our dreams are ours because we're meant to fulfill them. We're meant to follow them. We're meant to lead that path. Your dreams are your soul's whisper. And I just urge everyone to listen to them because they're meant for you. They don't need to make sense to anyone else. They won't make sense to anyone else because they're in your mind, right? And everyone has their own perception of reality. But you don't need to justify it. Just listen to it. Just follow it. Trust your intuition. Trust your guidance. Trust your North Star. And take incremental steps every day that bring you closer to it. That's all you've got to do. That's all you've got to do.
And one step a day, it's not so hard, right? We really can do it. Thank you, Claire, for such an amazing conversation. And I hope anybody will connect with you because it's really amazing what you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Polly.
Yeah, because we could really dive deep and connect all the dots, I think.
100%.
And all of you who are listening or just watching, comment, let us know what you took away from this episode and follow us for more because there is more coming your way. So I'm so excited for all the interviews that we are just now planning. So have an amazing day. And once again, Claire, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Bye.